I have the ultimate summer book recommendation for you guys. This is Summer by Edith Wharton. This was my first Edith Wharton novel I had ever read, and immediately upon finishing this book, I had to go watch Edith Wharton's documentary. It's called A Lady Doesn't Write. It's on YouTube. This book came out in 1917. Not only was it controversial to be a female writer, but it was also very controversial to write about the things she was writing about, such as money, sex, and social commentary. Summer is about a young woman called Charity Royal who lives in a small New England town. She was adopted by this older couple, and at one point the wife dies, and after that the husband, her guardian, proposes to Charity. So we're already thrust into this world and we see the expectations that are imposed on her in this sort of small-minded town that she lives in. So this book has lots of themes of like young, burgeoning sexuality and desire. So I will read to you what I wrote upon finishing. I spent the morning with my nose in a book finishing Summer by Edith Wharton. My feelings about it are juxtaposed. On one hand, I am left with a stomach ache that mirrors the heartbreak of our heroine, but on the other hand, I am left completely inspired by the way Edith Wharton told this story. Through the lens of our main character, Charity Royal, we see how money, sex, and social conditions affect her once-in-a-lifetime summer romance. In this quote in the book, I saw a beautiful depiction of how love can open someone up and change them from the inside out. Essentially, she ends up falling in love with this young man. They sneak off together in abandoned houses. They bask in distant meadows. They kiss under fireworks on the 4th of July, just like a whole young whirlwind of romance. She was always glad when she got to the little house before Harney. She liked to have time to take in every detail of its secret sweetness. The shadows of the apple trees swaying on the grass, the old walnuts rounding their domes below the road, the meadows sloping westward in the afternoon light before his first kiss blotted it all out. Everything unrelated to the hours spent in that tranquil place was as faint as the remembrance of a dream. The only reality was the wondrous unfolding of her new self. She had always thought love as something confused and furtive, and he made it as bright and open as the summer air. But it's actually quite heartbreaking because only about 10 pages later she starts to realize the implications of giving out her virtue in such a manner. She had given him all she had, but what was it compared to the other gifts life held for him? She understood now the case of girls like herself to whom this kind of thing happened. They gave all they had, but their all was not enough. It could not buy more than a few moments. She experiences the entire roller coaster of events and feelings that are entangled with young love, and the reader feels them with her. Charity Royal's story ends with the worst possible outcome, and as for the man, life goes on without any repercussions. The story was like that of a tragic romance, more obviously between man and woman, but what I felt was a tragic romance between woman and nature, and how desire under the wrong circumstances in the world that was set up for them at the time can be so destructive.